I never believed in ghosts, not really. But last fall something happened to me, deep in the mountains, that changed all that. I'd taken a solo trip up to a small, beautiful town called Hollow Creek, a speck on the map about 40 minutes north of Lake George, the kind of place where time moves slower, where trees outnumber people 1,000 to 1. I rented a little A-frame cabin through Airbnb. There were a lot of negative reviews about weird things in the house, but the photos were charming. Old wood stove, rustic cabin, surrounded by towering pine, and so on. So I booked it. It was the kind of isolation I thought I needed. The host never met me in person. She just sent an email with a door code and an eerie note. Be careful in the woods after dark. Paths disappear quicker than you'd think. I thought that was really weird. The first night, uneventful, quiet, cold, peaceful. But the second night, just past midnight, I woke up to a sound that just didn't fit. It was not the wind, not an animal, it was a voice. Whisper thin, like it was being carried on the breeze. I sat up, not scared exactly, just alert. Then it came again, a girl's voice, soft, young, just outside the window. She said,
Hello?
I froze, and my stomach sank. There was no light out there, just black trees and the reflection of my own wide eyes in the glass. Then again.
Is someone there? I'm lost.
This is when I just wanted to leave. I started to regret this trip already. I grabbed the flashlight, went to the door, cracked it open, just a sliver, and nothing. Just the woods and silence. The next morning, I checked the cabin's perimeter. No footprints, no sign of anyone. So I told myself that it was just a dream. Maybe an owl, maybe something else. But I knew that was not the case. I knew something was off. I thought to myself, I really should have listened to my wife. Later that afternoon, I went into town to get some groceries. It was already 5, so I wanted to make it quick. Hollow Creek's main street had a gas station and a post office the size of a closet, and a little diner called Annie's Table. I went in for a quick bite. A waitress approached me and asked what I wanted. She was old, gray braid, tired eyes. Rather than telling her what I wanted to eat, I just started asking if this town had any legends, paranormal or anything weird. Her face changed immediately. Not much, just a flicker, but I saw it. She asked,
You staying up at the Deerfield Run cabin?
I nodded yes. She poured coffee, slowly. She said,
Back in '89, a little girl went missing out there, playing hide and seek with her brother while the parents were packing up the cabin. They never found her.
She said,
They used to warn kids not to go playing in those woods after dark.
She looked at me in the eyes and said,
The forest is not alone.
Deep in my heart, I knew I should just pack up and go home. Instead, I asked her, what was her name? She whispered the name to me.
Her name was Emily.
That night, I kept the fire going early. Tried not to think about the voice or the girl. Had a little whiskey, played music low. But when the fire died down, I felt it again, that edge, that static in the air. And then a giggle. Right outside. I jumped up, flashlight in hand. Swung open the door, the beam cut through fog and trees. It was almost as though I was waiting for something like this to happen. I caught nothing, but then a movement just to the right. A blur of white behind the trees. I called out loudly, "Hello, who's there?" No answer, but when I turned back to the cabin, the door was closed. I hadn't closed it. That night, I barely slept. I kept hearing footsteps outside, breathing. Right by the window, noise of a little girl giggling and playing. I was in a nightmare and I felt stuck. Sometimes she would tap on the window and it sounded like she was calling by my name. It was a horror. I was scared, so I hugged my pillow tight, shut my eyes, covered my face with the blanket, and waited for the night to be over so I could leave. In the morning, I found them. In the pine needles by the porch, footprints, they were tiny. It sent a chill down my spine. At this point, I was certain that I was dealing with something else, maybe a ghost, maybe something supernatural, but definitely not a real person. There is no way that there is a real person, a little girl walking around barefoot in these woods alone. I packed my stuff, loaded the car, and tried to leave. The engine wouldn't start. Can you believe that? My battery was dead. Strange enough, though, the car radio was on. It doesn't make sense. I turned off the radio. Obviously, I didn't have any cell phone signal. There are no neighbors. There is nothing around here. I thought about walking. But what am I going to do when it gets dark? The only option was to walk to town, which I did. I went back to the diner and looked for the same waitress. "Maggie, I need a ride out of this town," I shouted as I entered the diner. Maggie looked at me concerned. She pointed at a seat for me to sit. I waited nervously, and she finally came over to talk to me. She asked,
Are you okay? What's going on?
I said, "Look, the cabin I'm staying at is haunted, and I haven't slept all night. She's trying to talk to me. I'm terrified. My car is broken, and I can't leave. Please give me a ride out of here." She's like,
Okay, I don't have a car, but Jimmy is a mechanic. Go talk to him.
She walked me out of the diner and pointed at a base of a little hill with some junk cars and scraped metal on the floor. I run over there. The entrance of the business says Jimmy's Garage. I thought to myself, I hope this guy is helpful. I see a guy, probably in his 40s, Dirty long hair like he hasn't taken a shower for weeks. His jeans are loosely hung, and he's very skinny. He's got a cigarette in his mouth and hunched over a trunk of a car. I yell out loud as I walk into the garage, "Hello? Jimmy, I need some help." He looks up at me and starts laughing.
I was wondering when you were gonna show up.
That made me very uncomfortable. I said, "What do you mean?" He replied back,
This is a small town. We know who the visitors are.
I just ignored what he said and asked, "I am stuck here and my car is broken. Can you help?" He laughed again and said,
What, you need a new battery?
At this point, I am not surprised that he knows what I need, so I just ignore his comments. I just wanted him to fix my car so I could leave. I said, "Yes, that's exactly what I need. My battery is dead." He walks over to a shelf. There are just a whole bunch of junk stuff and old car batteries. He picks one up and says,
This should work.
He looks at me and says,
I assume your car is in the Deerfield cabin.
I said, "Yes, that's where it is." I am not even surprised that he knows that. He probably even knew why I was in a rush and just wanted to leave, but I did not want to engage in any conversation. He started walking up to a beat-up-looking red truck and gestured me to come along with him. He threw the battery in the truck bed and we both left the town to go get my car. The car ride was about 15 minutes long, and we both didn't talk very much. It felt like a long, awkward drive. He had a cigarette in his mouth nonstop, and he would mumble some songs here and there. He took me to the cabin without asking me for the direction. At this point, it's about 6, and it's starting to get dark. Jimmy immediately starts to work on the car. He first tried to jump the battery, which did not work. He is hunched over in the battery area, mumbling things, throwing tools around. I started to realize that he was not that organized as a mechanic. I mean, just to change the battery, he had like 5 different things open, and he was using all kinds of tools. It felt very strange to me. He finally takes out the old battery and puts in the new battery. He goes in the car and tries to turn on the car. It cranks for a little bit and finally turns on. I was so relieved. He says, "There you go, mister, you owe me $100. I knew I didn't have cash and asked him if I could pay him with card at his shop, and he replied back,
Nope, go back to the diner, there's an ATM there.
I said, "Okay, that's fine." Just as I entered my car, the engine dies. I tried to turn it on and it wouldn't turn on. I looked at the radio and I see a flicker of light on the radio. I get out of the car and look at Jimmy. "Jimmy, the car is dead again. It's probably the used battery you installed in it." He smiles and replies,
You're probably right, mister. I was just trying to get you out of this town with whatever battery I had. I can bring you a new battery if you want.
I think to myself, shit, it's getting dark. I don't want to stay here another night, and I don't want him to leave me here alone either. I wanted to ask him if I could go with him, but I didn't want to seem like I was scared or that I didn't trust him to come back. Then I said yes, new battery would probably work better. He started picking up his tools and walked over to his truck as he yelled back at me.
New battery is gonna cost you more than 100.
It'd been an hour already that he left and he's not back yet. I started to lose hope and thought, the damn guy left me here stranded. I go inside the cabin and started to make fire, turn on lights and light candles. I make fire outside the cabin as well and waited for Jimmy. It's 9. I know he's not coming back. I was so mad at him. I thought to myself, one more night. Tomorrow I will walk out of here straight to Jimmy's, cuss him out, and find my way out. I went into the kitchen, made a sandwich, and went outside to eat it. Fire was nice and big. It felt nice to sit beside the warm fire. I hear wild animals and insects making noise, which actually made me feel comfortable. I was eating my sandwich, and all of a sudden, I felt the gush of wind blow over. It felt heavy, air felt thick, and it smelled really bad. I am all tensed up now, like I knew it was going to be a long night again. I lean forward to tend the fire, and I hear from behind me, "Holy shit." My eyes are wide open, heart racing, and I am filled with dread. I didn't want to turn around because I was afraid to see what I might see, and I did not want to see anything. I just wanted to go home. Then I heard it again.
Please, Daddy, I'm cold.
Then I felt something hold me from behind. Then, all of a sudden, I'm paralyzed. I can only see things. I can't speak, I can't breathe. I just see a girl sitting on my chest, giggling, poking my cheeks. She had light brown hair, pale white skin, and dark eyes. She looked like she wanted to play, but I couldn't even breathe. Then all of a sudden, I felt a big slap on my face and heard a voice,
"Wake up, damn it!"
I felt another slap on my face. This time it hurt, and I saw Jimmy's skinny face with cigarette in his mouth. I couldn't believe it, but I was so relieved to see his face. He yelled,
"Don't you want to go home?"
I got up and looked at my watch. It was about 12. I had fallen asleep, but whatever just happened felt so real. Like I saw that girl and she was clearly looking for her parents. I told Jimmy all of that. Jimmy replied,
"Didn't Mackie tell you about this place? It belongs to her. Didn't you rent it from her?"
I didn't know how to respond. Jimmy then said,
"Let me show you something."
He walked me over behind the cabin, through the brush, and pointed. What I saw shook my core. It was a burial site which read, "In the memory of Lisa Green, 1981 to 1989. Jimmy then said,
"That's Maggie's daughter."
I was mad, scared, confused, and all other kinds of emotion. I didn't know what to do. I felt betrayed that she rented this place to me and wondered that she knew about what's going on here. I had so many questions, but I did not want to deal with any of that. I just wanted to go home. Jimmy had come back with a new battery. He fixed me up, and that night I left with a promise to never come back. Never to even think about this trip, but to be honest, I couldn't keep it together. The curiosity betrayal was killing me, so I went a year later to visit Maggie.